Hey, shalom. Excuse me. First and foremost, as always, I'd like to start off giving all honor and glory from the praise and worship to our power. YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, HAQADASH. Double honors to our apostle, Elder Bishop, Great Millstone, rule well, teach us sound doctrine, peace, citation to the hopeful elect. Your brother Kadash, representing GMS branch here in Cleveland, Lord willing, to bring out a quick and edifying lesson through the spirit and power of YAHWASHI, I'll shot straight to the point. And we've done lessons on this, and you constantly got to bring these things out. You have new believers in the faith, and just to sharpen and to strengthen the minds of the elect who may already know. That's why we do these lessons. And scriptures say we labor for all those that seek learning. So the title the Spirit gave me was the piercing serpent and the virgin, because the woman, all right, when you're dealing with the Israelite man, the man, his wife to be, or his woman, is dealing with the concept of keeping her virginity. Unlike in today's world, anybody can still be a wife and not be a virgin. But unlike the ancient world, you had to be a virgin, okay? You had to be a virgin, and that's what Yahawashi is coming to do. He's coming to get his virgins, all right, his bride, all right? His virgin, meaning his bride, the elect, are likened unto a woman, okay? And you have the enemy, Esau Edom, who's likened unto another man, all right, who's trying to seize, all right, another man's woman, okay? And when you deal with, let's go to the etymology of the word RAPE. The word you see here is seize, okay? Seize means to take hold of something, AI overview, suddenly and forcibly, grab it, capture it, or take control, often by force or legal authority. You see that? Or legal authority. Okay? Like seizing a weapon, seizing power, seizing property. So when you go into the RAPE, all right, it's dealing with seize. Okay? And we just went into the word seize, and that's what's getting ready to happen on the earth. This is Revelations 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil has come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So he has to hold and grab and seize the things in his way, because he know if he have a short time. Who's going to do this against? The whole world. But the target is you Israelites, not just any Israelite, the elect. 16, in the earth. Matter of fact, 17, it says, and the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed. Right, the dragon is the Roman Empire. NATO and the EU are his allies. But here you have America. America is the revised Roman Empire, Rome 2.0. And it has grown from 10 vassal states to about 28 plus vassal states in alliance with the dragon, with the beast, okay? And this dragon is wroth with the woman, and woman is interchangeable with Israel, okay? As well as shit, Mary, right? This chapter is interchangeable with Mary as well as the elect, because Mary is a woman who gave birth to Yahawashi Mashiach, and Yahawashi was born during the Roman Empire. All right, and in this context, the dragon would be Esau Edom, the so-called YT man, all right, who was wroth with the woman, the elect, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed. Who's the remnant of her seed? The woman being Israel, the elect, right, the chosen seed, which keep the commandments of the Most High, because 2/3 is not doing that right now. I have the testimony of Yahawashi Mashiach, Right. Revelation 19:10, the testimony of Yahawashi is the spirit of prophecy. So the elect have the spirit of prophecy. And the dragon is wrath. Okay. So he's going to look to seize this woman being the elect. Okay. So when you go into, I typed in snake tooth look like syringe. I have to go into this. Yes, the fangs of many venomous snakes look and function like syringes, featuring a hollow structure or groove to inject venom into prey. Okay? And that's what's getting ready to do. This devil is getting ready to try to inject venom into his prey. Who's the prey? First, before I grab that, is 2 Corinthians 11:2. For I am jealous over you with godly jealousy, for I have spoiled you to one husband, that I may present you as a chaste virgin to Hamashiach Yahawashi. Right. That chaste virgin, all right, is the elect. Okay, because we are likened unto a woman unto the bridegroom. All right. Just to show you again, Jeremiah 6:2, I have likened the daughter of Zion to a comely and delicate woman. I'm going to use this to express the concept of what? Israel being likened unto a woman unto the bridegroom. The bridegroom is Yahawashi. The bride is the elect. All right. And it's a marriage getting ready to happen. That's what Matthew, I think it was the 20, I think it's the 20th chapter. No, or is it? Let's see. Matthew 22. The kingdom of heaven is like unto a certain king, verse 2, which made a marriage for his son. So that's what you're getting ready to see. You're getting ready to see a marriage, all right, a ceremony happen on the earth, a marriage between the bride and the bridegroom, the bride being the elect of Yahawashi, and the bridegroom being Yahawashi, man. Okay? So we know that the woman is the elect of the nation of Israel, all right, the bride of Yahawashi. And they did something in the world, what they did was they departed from evil. They departed from the ways of Babylon. This is Isaiah 59:15. Truth faileth, and he that departed from evil maketh himself a prey. And the Lord saw it and displeased him that there was no judgment. So yeah, when you depart from evil, you make yourself a prey. So this venomous was going to be used to insert this tiny technology is a syringe, which is likened into a snake bite. All right, the piercing serpent. And we know Esau is likened into a serpent. This is Psalms 58:2. Yeah, and heart you work wickedness. You weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear, which would not hearken to the voice of charmers, charming never so wisely. So these individuals who are estranged from the womb, which is Esau, Edom, as soon as they're born, they speak lies. So their whole NWO, their whole motive, their whole agenda is to not help you or aid you, but to trap you, okay, even further, right? And they're going to do it by the means of technology. You see, this is what they're going to use to pierce the people. It's going to be a snake bite, okay? It's going to be a snake bite, all right? And it says, these specialized, it says, featuring a hollow structure or groove to inject venom into prey, with some fangs even evolving to be needle-like and hollow-like, hypodermic needles for efficient high-pressure delivery. These specialized teeth connected to venom glands deliver venom quickly into the bloodstream, acting as a natural injection system, and have evolved multiple times in different snake lineages. So the point is that it's gonna go into the bloodstream. It's gonna pierce you. That's what he's trying to do. And what happens when another man take hold of you? If you don't cry out, right, you and that man would be punished. So into a hymen, right, for a woman, right? A hymen, says the hymen is a thin, flexible ring of tissue at the entrance of the vagina that has an opening for menstrual blood and secretions to pass through. It has no known biological function and can be stretched or torn during many activities, not just sexual intercourse. So look, so basically the hymen is the outer layer, a thin layer of the vagina that is torn during sex. Okay. And we had rules, laws, and regulations to dictate if one was a virgin, if a woman was a virgin or not in the ancient world, man. Okay, many ways to dictate if she was a virgin or not. Okay, you put the cloth down, the bleed, in many ways, man. Okay, I think if I'm not mistaken, so like, yeah, so the elect are likened to virgins because they're not going to be penetrated, right? They're not going to be penetrated. All right, that's what the syringe is doing. The syringe is going to penetrate everybody, and he's going to impregnate the people, if you will, with the RFID chip, man. That's what's going on here. It's deeper than just the surface. It's a spiritual thing here. Okay, that's his rod. Okay, that's his bite, and he's going to try to seize Yahawash's woman. Okay, so remember the story of Susanna, like just a quick example, because in our law, if you don't cry out when a man is trying to take hold of you, pursuant to the book of Deuteronomy, right? They call it the rape doctrine, right? Nonsense, because our laws and rules, law, statute, commandments of the Yahawah covered everything, and covers everything. So what do you do if a man has a sexual desire for a woman and he decides to just take it? There's repercussions, because you can't just take a father's daughter, bro. There are consequences, right? You will have to you'll be stuck with the daughter, right? You will be stuck with that woman forever, and you'll have to pay a dowry. You'll have to pay shekels unto the fathers, because she might have been promised to somebody, so forth, man. Right? You gotta pay for that, right? There's consequences. You can't just take somebody. You just can't just take the woman willy-nilly, all right, without cause, right? And in this case, Susanna's, she was already a wife, and they were lusting after her. They was trying to gangbang her, so you can understand. And now when you go to Susanna 1 in Apocrypha 19, it says, now when the maids were going forth, two elders rose up and ran into her, saying, behold, the garden doors are shut, that no man can see us, and we are in love with thee. Therefore consent unto us and lie with us. Right? So that's what they said to her, the two men that walked in upon her, trying to derobe and so forth. Right? And we will be likened unto this woman who, when you jump up to 16, and there was nobody there save the two elders that had hid themselves and watched her. And that's Esau. Esau hid himself, and he's watching us, and he's going to try to attack us when nobody's looking, right? In the sense of nobody is on our defense, right? Because the people are watching, but they're not watching in the sense of defending us, because of the things and how society is based now. Every man's for himself, so when the enemy come down, they're going to side with the enemy, right? Because we're going to be used as to the reason why their economy is falling, the reason why their lives are not the same, right? It says 21, if thou wilt not, we will bear witness against thee that a young man was with thee, and therefore thou didst send away thy maids from thee. So they're going to try to lie on her. It says then Susanna sighed and said, I am straitened on every side. For if I do this thing, is death unto me. And if I do not do it not, I cannot escape your hands. It is better for me to fall into your hands and not do it than to sin in the sight of the Lord. And that's how we feel, right? So it's better for us to fall in the hands of this enemy, the devil, than to sin in the sight of the Lord. It's better to face persecution and beheaded than to take the MOTB, to take the serpent's venom. Because it's better to do this than to sin in the sight of the Lord. Because contrary to popular belief, you are sinning when you take the mark of the beast. It says, with that, what does she do? Susanna cried with a loud voice, and the two elders cried out against her. Then ran the one and opened the garden. So there you go. So she cried out. Okay. So then when she was brought to trial, she would not be condemned with these two men. Right? Even though they lied on her. Yahawashi sent Daniel, right? Verse 45. You know what I'm saying? To testify as a witness against her. And we have the Holy Spirit as a witness against the crimes that this devil is trying to pin on us. All right? The accuser of our brother is cast down. He's being cast down. He's going to try to accuse us. He's going to try to make it look like what? We consented, all right, with his siege. Okay? Well, we are likened unto this woman. We're going to cry out to the Lord. We are crying out to the Lord. We're praying and prophesying that this devil is trying to inject us with this tiny technology. He's trying to inject us with sin forever. You see? Because this Leviticus 19 and 28. Ye should not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am the Lord. I am YAHAWASHI. And when you go into this word mark, it's kwai. So the Hebrew word for mark is kwai. One of the words for mark is kwai, which is incision, imprintment, tattoo, mark. So in our law, it's stated that we are not to do these things, make any incisions or marks upon us. All right, because this is a commandment. Okay, this is a commandment. This is in our law. Okay, so that's what this devil is trying to get you to do. And when you go, again, back to Revelation, well, go to Revelations 13. 16. He causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. That word mark is synonymous with the Hebrew word kwai. In the Greek is charagma, a stamp, an imprinted mark, an incision, right? Thing carved, sculpted, or graven work. See? The mark branded upon horses. It's a physical cutting or a physical brand that's getting ready to happen to the people of the world, man. Okay? It says, when you go to the root, it says karax, a pale or stake, right? You go to the root word, grapho, right? So when you're dealing with this mark, grapho is the thing that's used to what? To write, right? Where you get the word grapho, all right? It says right here, it says to write, right? When you go into karax, all right, it's dealing with, all right, it says a pale or stake, a palisade, like a fence. That's the incision, you know, a trench, right? And a charagma. So you have the delivery system, all right. You have the mark, and you have the you have the actual C-hip, right? Which the syringe is the delivery system. Okay, so you can understand. Just kind of briefly going into that. The syringe is the delivery system. All right, where they're gonna store all right, all of your data, your DNA, all right, your genetic makeup, your identity, everything will be stored, all right, and it will be transferred by the means of the syringe, okay, which is the stake that will be planted in you as a trench, okay, and that charagma is the mark, okay, the actual branding, which is the MOTB, which is the RFID micro C-hip, if I said that correctly, okay. Your right hand is your dextrose, which is your dominant hand, okay. So yeah, this serpent's bite, that's what he's getting ready to do. He's trying to get ready. He's trying to bite the elect virgins, man, of YAHAWASHI HaMashiach with this serpent's venom. Because it's venom, because it's a slow death, it's poison. Because when you go to Revelations 16, and I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the 7 angels, go your way and pour out the vials of the wrath of the Most High upon the earth. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image. And when you go into this word, mark, grievous right here, and noisome, it says, noisome, it goes into bad nature, all right. It says troublesome, injurious, all right, injurious, right, injury. It's going to cause you to have an injury, right, of the wicked, right, a mark of the wicked. When you go into this word grievous, it says what? Annoyances, bad or bad of nature, bad or condition, bad nature or condition of physical sense, diseased or blind. See that? There you go. So it says, let me see, it used to say pain, anguish. Where's it at? It used to say ulcer. All right, a cancer. It's going to cause a cancer. All right, it's going to give you an ulcer. Okay? That's the results of taking that MOTB. Scientific and veterinary consensus indicates that while rare cases of tumors have been reported in some laboratory rodents, it says there's sufficient evidence to support a causal link between RFID micro C-hips, implants, and cancer in humans. There you go. We don't got to read no more. That's a video that actually says and go into the details of it, but that's all we're going to read today. So you can see that it's deeper than just the C-hip and you merging your body with machine and you're able to walk through doors, and it's a spiritual connection to all of this. So the piercing serpent and the virgin, the elect virgin, what is the whole agenda and the reason behind this piercing serpent? It's to pierce the elect, man. Okay? 2/3 is already going to comply. The elect won't. If the elect won't, it's a hindrance to his plan. Okay? So he's going to have to be forced to come down with physical means in sense of jail or unaliveness, man. Like the scriptures say, it's prophesied to happen that way. So yeah, so like I said, the serpent's bite is likened into this syringe that will be used to carry off the seed of the serpent to penetrate you with, man. All right, and so when your hand, like I mentioned that hymen, your hand, you know, it has a protective layer or outer layer, all right, that you know, when you break it, it's like that, just that fine layer on the top that keep it secure. And that's what's going to happen here again. All right. Or not again. It's going to happen here, or try to happen here in Esau's society. He's going to try to pierce the elect, man. You know, and blood comes out of your hand when that happens, man. So it's like, so you can understand from a spiritual standpoint, all right, how the thought process of the devil, man, and how deep he's going with this, or how deep this thing means, man, because it is deeper than you think. You know what I'm saying? That's why Yahawashi said what he said. It's Revelation 14 and 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if many men worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, right? Metapon, dealing with the mind, the thought, right? That's why Facebook got changed to meta. All right, dealing with the thoughts, the mind. It said, the same shall drink of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he it says, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. You see, that's the judgment for taking the mark of the beast, man. All right, being judged in the presence of the Lamb, Yahawashi, and the angels, man. Fire and brimstone, the lake of fire, the second death, and the smoke of their torment ascended there forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast in his image, and whosoever receive his mark of his name. So there you have it, man. You know, just something quick through the spirit. You know, I went in detail with this before. Just wanted to briefly go back into this, just touching on certain points. The elect is crying out, all right, which they're not gonna, because they're elected. The elect is crying out. They're not gonna have to be judged with the man that's trying to uphold her, or besiege her, or seize her. Right, which is the elect, Yahawashi. I showed you that the elect is likened unto a virgin. All right, and the bride, which is the elect, is going to be married into the bridegroom. All right, which is that union, that covenant. All right, that new covenant. All right, that union between both parties, which is the elect and Yahawashi. All right, ordained since the beginning of the world, before the foundations of the earth. All right, so this serpent's bite. That's what the serpent bite is. The serpent bite is his MOTB. All right, his charagma. Okay, his charagma. So there you have it. And Esau, Edom. Again, Esau, Edom. When you go to Genesis 3, he's that serpent that was in the garden. Genesis 3. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, and one which the Lord power had made. And he said unto the woman, ye have said, you should not eat of every tree of the garden. So this serpent that got us the first time, that tricked our woman the first time, he came back. All right, he is back, and now he's a dragon. Okay, when you go into the etymology of dragon, it says a huge serpent. Okay, so he's back, a greater virgin himself, and he's gonna try to get the woman again. But this time the elect, which is the woman, this time, not Eve, all right, is not going to fall victim unto the craftiness of the devil, man. The craftiness of Esau, Edom, right? The physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan, man. All right, so Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I'd like to give all honor and glory from the praise and worship to our power. Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, RAWCHAA, HAQADASH. Double honors to our apostle, the bishop, great meals, don't be well. Peace, I taste, so for like till next time. Shalom. Shalom.